I can say this with full confidence, he's the most pathetic protagonist I've ever seen. Hello everybody, and welcome to Scloobga. I am your host, Natalie, and today we're going to be talking about a very important series that I have just recently binged, the story being Flowers of Evil. I discovered this show while I was browsing on YouTube during a class and truly became immersed by the strange but interesting looking art style, dull colorization, and the characters. They all seemed so interesting, and I knew I needed to get into it. As soon as I got home, sat down and started binging the entire thing, and I just finished it today, after 2 days of committing and sitting down and watching this bullshittery. And I have my very hardcore opinions. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope that you stick around and watch more of these videos, when they come out, of course. In my opinion, this franchise is the true definition of rise and fall. The manga was debuted in 2013 and gained a huge rise among fans. People began to love the series for its dark and domestic themes, along with all of the characters, some of which being complete idiots. The protagonist. And throughout the story, people began to love it. The theme was surrounding the stark entity, a flower of evil, which is mentioned many times throughout the story to be a part of a novel that the main character is reading.
何の本読んでんだよ。
山田。
何これ？あ？これ漢字間違ってる。
旧字体なの返せよバカ。お前なんかには価値のわかんねえ本だよ。
We see this flower become a significant part of our story, and along gained popularity among fans. Soon, the book became an anime adaptation, causing fans to spiral with causing excitement, and became, well, a disaster. The fandom did not appreciate the art style that the creators had taken on for the new anime adaptation, and became the downfall of the franchise. When the first season came out, which is the only season we have, people wanted to give it a shot and did watch it, and it didn't get the greatest reviews, therefore was never renewed for a second season. And I'm here to put bluntly on record, this video is going to be a huge fucking glaze. I loved this show so much and genuinely stayed in my brain continuously for days. These characters have taken such a toll on my mind and my soul, and genuinely I would recommend watching this show. It will change your mind about a lot of the way you perceive things, and genuinely is such an infatuating piece of media that I think everybody should experience at least once. It's so strange, yet descriptive, yet undescriptive. They leave an open door which makes you want to go from the next episode to the next episode to the next episode. I know that a lot of people talk a lot of shit about this art style, but I'm gonna be so serious. I think it was the best creative choice they could have done with this art style. With these looking like people, known as rotoscoping, which is when you get footage from actual actors and trace over it to look like anime, it freaks you out. It makes you feel unsettled. This anime is supposed to be unsettling. It is absolutely perfect and is such a great thing for such an immersive and creepy experience, and is able to build characters and honestly make you see yourself more in these characters since they look like other people. I don't know about you all, but honestly, I'd consider myself relatively socially awkward, and so I immediately felt a grip to our MC. He is so awkward, so standoffish, and honestly, quite frankly, his body language screams, I'd rather do anything but be anywhere right now. And me too, King. So immediately when I saw the way that he acted, again, it added to this atmosphere. As I've said before, the dull colorization. Everything in this town that we are based in Japan is dull. It's not like Tokyo where everything is violent. It's not like Shibuya where everything is lively. It's a small town in Japan. It's dark, it's rusted, and it's old, and again, it creates such a strange atmosphere, especially since you learn later in this town, it is surrounded by mountains, which they don't know what's on the other side. All of the children that live in this town appear to have never been out of it, and honestly, in the show, talk a lot about how they're convinced once you go over those mountains, you can die because you don't know what's behind there. It's all creepy, it's all eerie, and genuinely, if you're into this, please watch the show. Unfortunately, it isn't as easily accessible as I thought it would have been. I had to go on a website to find it, and I will try my hardest to put the link of that website into the description. I am going to warn you, it has a lot of pop-ups, but back to what I was saying. Genuinely, this show is great. I have heard from so many people to avoid this show. I have heard from so many YouTubers that this is one of the weirdest shows they've ever watched, and I'm going to be honest, this is one of the weirdest shows I've ever watched, but was it enjoyable? Yes, it was. It was a genuine experience, and I felt kind of immersed within these characters, and hopefully you can too. It's involving romance, it's involving jealousy, and honestly, the only normal character in this story is Saeki-san, which is the MC's love interest. But what I'm trying to say is, this show is great, and genuinely for me, gets a 7.5 out of 10. I think this show was great. I think it was amazing, and I think it so deserves a second season. And I honestly will be reading the manga, but in the meantime, I will look back at this show. It is genuinely so amazing. But of course, like every show, it has its downfalls. This show is a very sexually driven show, unfortunately, and has a lot of characteristics of a lot of things involving sex, whether it is very direct when claiming some characters want to have sex with others, or this clip, for instance, or just other things. There's a lot of interesting things within the show about sex, even if it's not direct. Our antagonist is a great antagonist because she is a living bitch. She is literally, quite frankly, the worst person in the class who creates the most problems among students, but is also a weirdly sexually driven person for somebody who's never done anything before. She's strange, she's weird, and she comes very close to RMC in ways that honestly shouldn't be happening. There are things within this show that she does to a lot of people that truly made me feel so uncomfortable, and you will hate her. You will. Trust me, and that is coming from somebody who watched this for 2 days. You will hate her. But I mean, for our villain, that is a good thing, I suppose. But, oh my god, I can't stand her. But unfortunately, I want to keep as many spoilers as out from this part, but you will kind of understand her in the end. There's kind of a weird pause where you kind of understand why she's doing what she's doing. You finally get to learn about her family, you learn about her past, and you learn about the present. You learn about the way that she was feeling about the situation with our MC, and honestly, damn girl, damn, because you are fucking crazy. But in all seriousness, in order to understand her character and understand what these motives have to be about, you have to analyze, and I did so you don't have to. She grew up without a mother, unfortunately, and honestly felt like such an outcast in her neighborhood filled with stereotypical people. She had felt so out of the loop and so out of the situation compared to everybody else, and so instead tried to act as different as she could. She felt like, as she says, a sicko, and wanted to bond with other sickos among her age group, but there was nobody around, until she met our main character. So, she would do anything in her power to try and manipulate him in order to be the same type of sicko that she was. Sure, he was weird, but he will never be what she is. He will never, ever be what she is, at least right now. The way that I see things going, it doesn't look too good. He is manipulated. He is emotionally manipulated. And it feels like some kind of Stockholm syndrome, where he's bounded to this abusive behavior, this on and off bipolar behavior from our antagonist. She's really good at what she does, because she has our MC completely wrapped around his finger. With the constant SA, the constant mental harassment and things surrounding her, she is great at her job. Alright, my final thoughts and conclusions. This show is hella fucking good. If you like horror, if you like eerie things, please watch this show, even though the art style is interesting. I am gonna warn you, you're gonna be very annoyed at times with the main character, and I have such a love and hate relationship with the guy, but please, seriously watch this show. It is a lot. but it's so worth it. Thank you all so much for tuning into my first video on this channel, and I hope you all continue to support me, and I will continue to post more content. Thank you all so much. Bye!